Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we are checking out the new KETUO YAKUZA. And I recently did the KETUO Meridian in another video. I'm not sure which one's going up first, but definitely check that out. Both these are so awesome. They had to get their own videos, so they will be done separately. So if you haven't seen the other video, go and check it out. Now, this is the YAKUZA, an M390 steel, titanium bolster lock, and the copper carbon fiber, which I am a big fan of. But the look of this knife, I'm even more of a fan of. I think this thing is a very, very attractive Tanto. I love the look of certain Tantos when the design with the handle and the blade complement each other. This one perfectly does that. I think this is a very, very attractive knife. Straight back Tanto. It does have a little tiny bit of drop, but not much. It does have a dual grind on it, so it's a flat grind up here and a hollow grind right here. Like I said, M390 steel. Blasted finish. Then we have triangular thumb studs. We're going to get to that here in 1 second. The handle, like I said, titanium bolster lock, titanium mill pocket clip, and full titanium backspacer with some nice gearing on there for some traction. You got your lanyard hole back there. The ergonomics of this is phenomenal. I mean, this, you can almost just look at it. It kind of reflects the shape of a hand, just the way, you know, it lays right in your hand. If you can tell this was specifically designed for the hand. It's not straightforward or neutral, but that's okay because the way it leans forward, this thing is amazing in the forward grip. In the reverse grip, yeah, this is good like this, you know, in the gas station knife fighting grip. Not going to be the best for reverse grips for cutting ropes and straps, but you can absolutely do it. Pinch grips are going to be just fine, but this isn't much of a pinch grip knife, even though you can use the secondary tip, you know, to open packages and stuff like that. But as far as slicing, cutting down on a flat surface and things like that, it's going to do very, very well for that. In Tantos, you know, they're designed to have nice, strong tips for penetrating. So they're not going to be like a dagger as far as, you know, going through really deep, but instead doing a lot of damage without risking the tip of the knife. Now, let's talk about this action, because the action it has the hole deployment and these thumb triangles that have this nice texturing on there. You can see you can remove them. They are, in my opinion, I think they look good. Sorry about my camera jumping, guys. I don't know what's going on. I got to figure it out. But the triangles work really, really well, and they're so small, so it's surprising to me that they work as good as they do, and they're up so high. So the closer deployment is to the pivot, typically the stronger the detent is going to be. The action from the discs, or sorry, the triangles, is really good. Really well done. I can easily slow roll it. I can thumb flick it. I can reverse flick them. But then you have the hole deployment, which is also perfectly fine. Like, you don't even need to use the thumb stud. You can easily thumb flick it and reverse flick off of the hole and fuller. So it's got a hole and fuller combination. Then you have the flipping action, which I'm going to say is not the best front flipper, but it's still good. The problem is I can't do the reach over very well. I can do it, but it's not very comfortable because it's just so broad. And doing the side finger, you can do it just fine, as you see I'm doing it, but it is a little wide for you to spread your fingers. So the thumb flick is going to be the best way to use this front flipper, which is how they're designed anyway, so not that big of a deal. It's going to do exactly what it's supposed to as far as that goes. And you can easily slow roll it by breaking the detent and then following it around. I do wish this front flipper was a little different. We'll get to that in a second, but it doesn't stop this knife from just being absolutely badass, and you don't have to use a front flipper. So any knife that does have multiple deployments and, you know, maybe you're not into front flipping, it doesn't matter, you know, because you have the other deployment. Access to the lock bar could be better. They did chamfer the one side. I wish there was texturing there, or I wish this was just cut back just slightly. I can technically come from the side, but man, it'd be so much better if it had texturing and was opened up like on this side, or, you know, just cut back right here, something just to open it up a slight bit more. Now, this is not bad, but it could definitely be a little bit better, but it's fine though. Like, I think I'm the only one who would even complain about that, because you can easily go from the front because of that chamfer and just go sideways like that. So, which does, you know, make for good unlocking. So it's not going to be hard or bad to disengage it. As far as in the closed position, its profile looks really good. Like I said, I think this thing looks aggressive. It looks mean. I like the pivot. Titanium mill pocket clip is good. The ramp could be a little bit better coming out of the pocket. But either way, it's a good clip. It's just fine. Yeah, it's fine. This blasted finish, I'm not sure. This is probably a vapor blast. I typically don't think blasted finishes should be on premium blades. You know, as far as the blade goes, I'd prefer a stonewash or a satin in most cases. However, this is a little different. It looks a little bit more premium. It has a very smooth finish to it, but besides that, the consistency is there. It looks good. It has, I don't know, it's something different about it. I said the same thing about the Meridian. It just has a little bit of a different type of blast. And like I said, I think it's a vapor blast. So negatives, let's talk about some negatives. So one, T6s again. Why not just do T8s? You know, it looks better to me, and it makes it to where you can easily take knives apart, take everything apart without worrying about it. The access to the lock bar, I already said that. And then the front flipper, I wish there was jimping up here. I'm surprised they didn't do jimping there, because that would give you a little bit more grip. Not that this is going to be the best flipper direction because of how wide it is right here. It still would be better even for the thumb flick, because, you know, it's smooth up there. So I wish the jimping was sharper. I wish the squares were more angled so that it had an edge to them. I think that would massively improve the front flipping action to this thing, because it's already good. So having better jimping and jimping up here would just make it even better. And the next thing is sharpen tool and plunge grind could be a lot better. The plunge grind starts here and it ends right there. You got one, maybe two sharpenings in there, depending on what angle you do. Personally, I would want to lower back my edge angle so my bevel would get bigger. If you kept it the same angle, then like I said, you're going to have a couple sharpenings in there. You want to be careful though, because with Tantos that have dual grinds like this, the edge is going to be smaller here and thicker up here. So if you go too low of an angle, it can look ridiculous, because you'll have a tiny bevel here and then a massive bevel up there. So make sure you're doing the right angle if you are going to lower it back. But all in all, I dig it, man. I dig it. I love, like I said, I love the look of it. I think it's super, super attractive. Yeah, I do have a couple negatives and drawbacks, but none of them I care about enough. Like I said, if I don't like the front flipper, I just don't use it, because the thumb and, well, the hole and the studs are so good already. And then these ergos are so damn good as well. The whole knife, man, as far as the looks go, the ergos go, cutting, all of that, it is really good. And this blade is semi-tough. Like, it's a pretty tough blade. Listen to that lockup. Nice, strong lockup. And then another little thing though, I wish the stop pin was a little bigger. I think they had to make it that size so that you could have room right there. Probably just the way it had to be. But I do wish that it was a little bit bigger. Not that this is going to be weak. I don't want to make it seem like that. I've seen way smaller on way tougher knives. So I don't want to make it seem like that. I just like, kind of like the hardware, I like to see it be a little bit beefier so that it just resembles, you know, toughness. Especially with a knife like this that does kind of seem like a tough knife. Not that it's a hard use knife or anything, but it's definitely leaning towards a tougher side. KETUO or Reich's M390. I've never done a controlled test on it. I have sharpened it quite a bit. It's pretty much always sharpened up just fine, so it's always felt good. But, you know, I would have to do a controlled test to really, really get the feeling of that. And yeah, so I like the way this thing stair steps right there. Isn't that cool? It doesn't do it on this side, obviously, because, you know, lock bar, but it's very cool. I love the look of it. Anyways, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.